All right, guys, welcome back. Episode 1 of Square Body School went over pretty well, so we're going to do an episode 2, but I do want to go back because I knew some people were going to correct some things. And what is really hard to understand or explain to people, if you haven't done this, is when you're trying to make a video and capture this content and not do it in sections and not do it in retakes, it's really tough. So if you notice that Square Body School video was whatever it was, 15 minutes, there was not one break in it. We did not cut and edit it. One reason is we don't have time. I don't have time to dedicate to doing it. My guys don't have time to editing it like I would like to. When we did our Powerboat Nation stuff, which was the boat TV show that I did years ago with a couple partners of mine, unfortunately we would capture like 10 hours of content for 10 minutes of filming. So it was exhausting, and it was perfect. It was great. It was television ready, but this is a little different. So one thing a lot of guys made comments about was this 1981 to 1986 305. So what I want to clarify, I was referring to half ton. I didn't say it. Halfway through I thought about it, and sure enough the comments came. So that's great. Anything that you see that we do wrong, correct it. It's all good. We're not perfect. But 1981 and 1986, if you research it, and I can live it in real life, 305 in a half ton truck, other than a 6-cylinder and other than some diesel options, that was the only way you could get a small block in there. Now again, is there an exception out there? I don't know, but I know in 1982, 3, and 5, we were ordering trucks for a couple of construction companies we dealt with, brand new. We would order the trucks, we would bring them in, we would accessorize them, we would sell them to the customers. We only could get a 305. We tried our best because the owner of the business loved a 350, he wanted a 350. Awesomely enough, in 87 it came back with fuel injection, and I remember the first one we got him, and he kept it for years. He loved it. It was throttle body injected. So could you get something different in a half ton? I don't think so. In a 3/4 and 1 ton, which was very rare, and we did get them some trucks, yes, you could get a 350, you could get a 454, you could get the diesel. But just wanted to correct that. So if you Google it, if you check it, I've done a little homework myself because I don't want to say something wrong, but I know we lived through it and we couldn't get it. Did somebody get one? I don't know. But as far as ordering a truck, 1981, 1986, 305, low horsepower motor was pretty much one of your only options. So today's episode, and this episode, if you missed it, go back and watch it. It was basically just showing where these prices come from. And of course, like everything, we had a lot of people say, I can get it painted cheaper. I can buy trucks cheaper. That's awesome. It's free world. You know, I hope you get a truck for $1,000. I had one guy on there say, hey, I can get as many as you want for $2,000 to $5,000. I can get them painted for $3,000 to $5,000. I'll take an order of 100. I mean, I'll buy every one the man can get and get them painted for me. That would be awesome. Said he could get interior done for $1,300. So we all know the reality. Most people backed us up. If you've had a realistic quote, and I mean a realistic quote that actually gets done in a real body shop, these figures are pretty accurate. You might spend a little less on interior, you might spend a little more on paint, you might spend a little more here, a little less there. One thing that I do have to elaborate on is I did not realize, because I just say, hey, order, get, I don't care, I don't look at the invoices any longer. Tires and wheels, through the roof. A nice set of boggers on a nice set of wheels nowadays, you're going to spend $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 just in wheels and tires. If you start talking 22s and 24s and 26s like we do in a lot of trucks, and you start talking American Forces, $10,000 to $12,000 just in tires and wheels. So again, I hadn't paid attention to that, you know, but it didn't really matter. But when somebody's building a truck, this estimate here was probably a little low after I checked some of my facts. But anyway, let's go to episode 2. This one's basically going to be about body style changes. I happen to just have a couple here because we run pretty low now on the square body stuff. But 73 would be the first year after the change. And then 87 was the last year of this style front end. And then this doesn't really go into detail about the 89 to 91 style. But anyway, quite a few changes. And luckily we've got a couple trucks here to show you. So this would be your 73 to 79/80 era front end, and this would be your newer. Double headlights were one option on these trucks, whereas you could also get a square headlight with a marker light here. That was more of a Cheyenne versus a Silverado. You see that on a lot of work trucks, military trucks, stuff like that. The grille differences, if you zoom back in on the highlighted piece here, you'll see that in the 80s, really a lot of it was just grille changes. So we had a lot of comments, and a lot of people really loved our 81 to 82 front end that was on that 86 white and black truck in the last video. That was really popular. That was an 86 truck, which would have looked like that, but the customer wanted to do this setup on the front. and it was actually a dual headlight right here with the bumper in the grill marker light. So pretty cool setup. So if you're doing a truck from scratch, do that front end. It's one of the most rare front ends. I think you'll get the most attention if you're going for attention to do this one right here. Again, double headlight here. The grill had the kind of the up and down. We actually, my uncle had one that had a little clearance light right here, which looked pretty cool. It's all in what you like. So right here is another cool factor, the 1980 only. So that was the one that was the most rare. And that is what the front end is on our Suburban, 10-door Suburban. And my brother Daniel actually has an 80 also. He converted a two-wheel drive dually to a four-wheel drive. He'll bring some videos on that, I'm sure, in the future. It's a green truck. It looks really cool. He drives his kids around in it all the time. But 80 was the only year that was exclusive, all on its own, and that is the front end that we've got on our 10-door Suburban. Pretty cool with the round or square. Could have come either way. Ours happens to be round with this here. So even on this template, it's not right. 77 to 79, we actually have an 80 that has the round headlight with this style built together front end. This piece right here is all together in one piece. So my personal 74 truck looks just like this here. I think this is a 78. Little bit of grill changes, marker light, round headlight, bumpers. Well, don't have a bumper here to compare it to. There's a slight change in the bumpers. But here's another big factor a lot of people don't realize. The hoods on these trucks here absolutely suck because it's the cowl and the hood all together. So if you look right here where the wipers go, there's no hidden area. So this right here, this area of this hood is usually, and this one's popped a little bit right here, fatigued and actually bent in half. And I actually did that on one of my trucks. I left a wrench in the hood hinge, pulled it down, and put a big V in it right here because there's just not enough supportive metal. There are reinforcement pieces that you can buy for those nowadays to make it a lot better. And then of course you want to keep your hood hinges lubed. You go over here to the 80s model, and they actually have a fixed cowl. So the hood is shorter. You have the cowl where the wipers come out of it, and the hood hinges were redesigned. So you don't see any problems with these. They open, close, shut very well. Those was always a fatigue and a failure problem. There's a little bit of sheet metal difference. If you look right here, most people think they're identical. The way it runs down the center. They call this more aerodynamic. The brow, the front piece, is a little more rounded, and then you have a little bit more of a tapered center section. And of course, a lot of them have a hood emblem here. I'm surprised this one doesn't have it. Our crazy 75 white Blazer, which is not in this video, it's getting some finishing touches, actually has a hood emblem, and that 80 to 81 had a hood emblem. That's pretty cool. So you go back here and you can see in this a little bit more. You can see the bumper, instead of having this open area here where the bolts are, it's more of a raised area here. Some of these have a piece of black trim that runs across them. Some of them have the up and down little bumper support piece, you know, moose pusher. Everybody calls it something different. But those are pretty cool. You don't see them very often, but they are pretty neat. And then again, here's a really good example of the front end. Now this would be a picture of an 80. Doesn't say it right here, but this piece is all together, which again would be really exclusive to that with a round headlight. 77 to 79, this is all made together as well. But the 80, very different because of the fact it should have had square. 73 to 76, you don't really notice much difference. Again, just grill. Bumper was the same. Everything was the same with the marker lights. And you know, there was some crossbreed stuff that I'm sure people did. Choo Choo Customs made a lot of trucks, and they changed things on those. They did custom grills before that was even popular. But again, snapshot that in your brain. That's a pretty good way to figure things out, because you can put an older style bumper on a newer style truck. You can put an older style grill on a newer style truck. A ton. Matter of fact, we're going to bring you one. We've got a really cool little wrecker that's actually a 78 per the title, and it's actually an 80s model front end on it. It's a double headlight truck. Silverado front end like an 86, 87 has. So you can do whatever you want. It's all in sheet metal changes. Radiator support. I really wish we'd made a picture of the 89 to 91, because that's when they changed the radiator support. And even back in this day, my dad wanted to convert one of these other trucks to that because it had the small side-by-side headlights with a marker light under it, and a really cool flat grill. And the GMC, you know, kind of was an early Denali, basically, the way it looked, because the grill was sectioned off separately. It looked really neat. So we'll do something with that one next, the 89 to 91, which was, of course, the cool motor. A lot more options came back out. They changed it to a V series from a K series. There's a whole lot of things. Again, a couple people corrected on there. We call everything a K. We call everything a K5, even though that's really a Jimmy. So you'll see some overlap, and that's fine. Again, correct us all you want. We try to make these videos as crystal clear as we can without editing, without going back. And again, we're not the end-all experts on this stuff, but we have touched, felt, done, changed, done about everything we can on these trucks. So little front-end education. One day we're going to try to get a lot of them lined up. I had one of my customers suggest to do that, try to get all the different arrows. Hey, that's cool. We'll try to do it, especially to show the front ends and the way they evolved. If they were all lined up here and you could walk across them, it would be pretty neat. Really like changing out the grills. We just changed that grill out. If you look at our posted pictures and look at it now, Daniel took a little extra time to go over that truck and change out the grill, change out the marker lights. A lot of people eliminate the lights here, which is fine, especially if you do a billet grill. You lose these, but per inspection, you're really supposed to have them. So we put all those back in. They're all functioning. We try to make them as error correct as possible. Again, when this one was posted, it wasn't that way. And you can see he went in here and cleaned up a lot of the hardware, the bolts, and everything else too. So both these trucks are for sale. This one's a 1-ton conversion with our cross-member crossover steering and crossover track bar system. That's become very popular. Daniel does have that pretty much ready to ship now. So if you do want something, obviously if you do crossover, you're eliminating your sway bar. So you need something in the front to stabilize it. So that track bar system has become very popular. He can do it for 1/2 tons, 3/4 and 1 tons. And that truck right there is 35. This one here I will sell, even though I really don't care to, because I've been driving it, 19,000. And it's got a really nice running small block. We kept it really error correct. Did the lift kit wheels and tires, though the body's rusty. The underside is phenomenal. The suspension's all brand new. We just did it, and quite a few other maintenance items, but it's got the plaid interior. And then this one could use some interior upgrades if that's what you want, and this one does have the power steps. So again, all stuff that can be added that's really not normal. And again, this one, the interior was done to be kind of rustic, patina. A lot of people love our fully refinished interiors, but as far as this one goes, it's left kind of old school. So if somebody wants to finish it, it can be done. Power steps are a huge thing. He's also working on those kits to be able to be shippable. But for right now, install in-house is the best way for us to do those. So reach out to Daniel or Brian in the shop. 1/2 ton, 1-ton conversion, started life as a 1/2 ton, so that can be done. If somebody wanted that truck converted, it can be done also. Thank you guys for watching episode 2 of Square Body School. Bookmark that. That was actually online. I was able to find it, download it, but that's one of my favorite go-tos to explain to people that don't really know a lot about the square bodies and the generations and how they change. So that's pretty cool educational stuff. Finishing up a couple more, so stay tuned. We haven't had any that are done. We just got in a fully restored 79 that we're doing. That's frame off. That's a single cab long bed truck. That's going to have the power step kit. It's 1 ton. It's got all the upgraded steering, disc brake conversion. There's a crew cab that's coming. That's also 1 ton converted factory, but it has the 1 ton upgrades as far as the steering goes, the track bar goes, the disc brake conversion goes. And there's 2 more single cabs, 1 short bed, 1 long bed, that things are in process on right now too. So there's a few others moving around, getting finished at the shop. Unfortunately, we just can't get them ready as fast as they're selling. So guys, please be patient. We'll bring you some more content. We'll bring you some more square bodies. And we're not lacking on anything else to sell you. So if you're looking for ATVs, Hummer H1, equipment, tractors, Bronco, even a Sherp, we got lots of stuff in stock. Davis Auto Sales, 804-271-0030 or davisautosales.com. Anything shop related, reach out to the shop directly, 804-625-4008 or davisoffroad.com. And Daniel, Jay, or sometimes Brian will help you out with that stuff for any of the upgrades and other things that you're looking for. The only thing we really don't do in-house on these trucks is body and paint work. So any of the mechanical stuff you want to reach out for, even some of the interior things, Daniel can help you with. So thanks for watching again. Davis Drives, episode 2 of Square Body School. Thanks.